What we're going to talk about today, and we're going to try to cover a lot of ground, so put your seatbelts on. But the idea, how to say it succinctly. If one is thinking, and that's not always automatic. I mean, not a lot of people sleepwalk through life. Why do we do it that way? Well, I've always done it that way. Okay. But a lot of people do things that they do. Anyway, the point is that animals slog through. They act instinctually. They don't think, hey, every year, we migrate to wherever it is. I'm going to Florida this year. I had enough. So I'm not going that far. And they get the memo time to go back. Forget it. I'm not going back to the snow. I'm hanging out here. I got new friends. They just follow. And they're satisfied with that. Dog, whatever it may be, but there are not a whole lot of critical demands. And there's a verse in the Bible, I think it's Solomon, and it says, with much knowledge comes much grief. So it's true. If you just don't think about it, then okay, and you just get a little pinch of something every now and then, a little pinch of happiness, or, it's sustainable, it's okay. But when you begin to think, is this all there is? And is this what it's really, which is what human life does. You begin to think about things. So with that, frankly, comes frustration. That, if you just accept whatever comes your way, then okay, there's a type of satisfaction that comes with that. You follow me? You're just, all right, fine. But as soon as you start looking around and thinking, is this enough? Is this what it's really all about? What is it, live fast and leave a good corpse? I mean, is that what it's all about? Well, with that comes frustration. With higher expectations will come dissatisfaction. And I think if we're honest with ourselves, if we're just satisfied with the slow mode, we're not really thinking. So then the question is, what to do about it? So let's think about that for a minute. And again, well, we've always done it that way, and that's what you do it for. The solution, considered solution, is to get more of the same. If I just get a better car, a faster car, a spouse who makes, or life partner who makes more money, or, if they're only 4 inches taller, well, what about blue eyes instead of brown? Whatever it is. It's increasing, what to do? It's increasing the same. Just amplify it. Of course, I'm a monk now, and we're try to keep things simple. But I remember when I was a kid, there was it Baskin and Robbins 31 flavors? Is it still around? Okay, so I remember you could get 3 scoops, you could get a boat, banana boat, or split, with 4 or 5 scoops. But you never see not to my knowledge, that you can get 40 scoops, or 13 scoops. So, there comes a saturation point, isn't it? There comes a point where, hey, man, enough's enough. I'm done with that. Or at least another 31 flavors. The biggest, anyway, it's off the track. But I'll just say it because I started. You know what the biggest flavor, the most popular, overwhelmingly, it's like 75% at 31 flavors, what the favorite flavor is? Yeah. I was kind of bent my mind around that one, But you wonder what monks are thinking about. But the point is, okay, I'll just say it quickly, that it's perception that needs to change. It's not more of the same. It's not a greater degree of acquisition. Let me pile up more stuff or rearrange the stuff I've got. That's not what's going to do it. We need to change our perceptions. And I'll give you an idea. If I have a telescope, right, simple image, and you look through it, small end, big end, you see things one way, isn't it? You switch it around. It's the same instrument, but you just switch it around and whoa, everything becomes small. So it's the same instrument, but you just change the angle of perception and the experience changes. If you change perception, experience changes. Oh, geez. I'll give you an example. Here's the principle. There's a man I know, when he was younger, he joined the army. It was before the first Iraqi war. And he joined with the idea of, hey, I got to march around a little bit and people tell me what to do. Well, I can live with that. And I'll get my school paid. And I'll get a VA vet. There was no war at the time. That's my point. There was no war. He thought, I'll join, march around, put in my time, get my school paid, get some, VA benefits for the rest of my life. And, I got to serve in the reserves for whatever it is, 4 years after. Well, I can do that. It's cheaper than working at McDonald's or, whatever and trying to pay my student loans. So, okay, he joined. But, and I'm not deprecating the Army in any way, or let's not go on that world. But the point is that, it was tough. He had the drill sergeant, just your classic drill sergeant on his case. He's got to get up every morning. He said, enough of that. And he was fighting it every way, every step of the way, and just miserable. And the Iraqi war started. And he thought, oh, holy mother of God, they're sending me over there. And they're going to try, there's going to be somebody trying to blow off my head. Whoa. I better listen to this guy. All of a sudden, he told me personally, he said his drills, I'm not advocating the benefits of war, this or that, we don't even step on an ant. So. But the point is that he realized I'm stuck in this boat, and I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to have people try to rip off my head. Whoa, I better listen to this guy. And his drill sergeant, he said he bonded. It was, he was best friends. He said everybody kind of snapped around and focused. So when the purpose, the reality changed, the relationships changed. So we have, all of us, have certain perceptions by which we perceive this world. And that perception determines our experience. And our experience means our happiness, our frustration, our satisfaction, all of that stuff, which differentiates us from animals. That, hey, we have a quality interior life and a value system, and where the hell am I going here? If we're thinking. Don't worry, I'll write over it, don't worry. We'll work around it. So the point I'm making is, what are those perceptions, if changed, will make a phenomenal difference? We're going to give you today, at no extra charge, news you can use when you go home. And it's not coming from me, it's coming from the timeless wisdom of the Vedic literature. And lo and behold, you will find it's that common denominator that runs through all great spiritual traditions. It's universal, news you can use, and if you change, if you see through that, we're all seeing through lenses. I'm black, I'm white, I'm male, I'm female. Well, I went to Harvard, I mean, you get it all the time, whatever it is, So we're all looking through a lens. That you're not going to get away from. I'm looking through a lens, but I'll tell you what those lenses are. That come from the timeless, those lenses that are the truth. Okay, here's one. If we change his perception, our whole experience will change. We all think that we're this body. We're this collapsible contraption of, and it's just, you talk to any doctor, talk to a physical therapist. It's just wheels and pulleys and channels and different chemical reactions and bags and, that's all it is. I mean, it's an amazing thing, but it's just a vehicle. And sometimes you can, because I want to move quickly, we can get a sense that, okay, we're not this body. This body is a machine. I talked to a guy the other day. He said, yeah, I know I'm not this body. My body is just a machine to move my brain around. I'm my brain. It's just, if I want to go, I got to haul this cranium over here because brain function, is the creation of consciousness. So they say. But here's a tweak higher. And, people are in anxiety. I'm too fat. I'm too small. I'm this. What happens when I drop dead? All the senses, feed me. I want this. I want that. They're all agitating. The tongue is the worst of them all. It's all over the place. Okay, I'm not this body. Okay, I can get some relief from that. But I'm my mind. But think about the mind. People, disrespect me. I'm not loved enough. I'm proud. I'm not valued. I'm anger. All the stuff that's churning, that chattering monkey in the brain that's going 90 miles an hour. And it doesn't give you any rest. When you go to sleep, it's right there with you, chattering away on the subtle platform. So if we wait a minute, that change of perception, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm not this false ego, well then what's left? Well, what's left is who we actually are. If I look out if I were to ask you, if it were daytime right now, and if that were clear glass, so it's a little bit of a thought exercise, and if I asked you, hey, is the wind blowing? What would you do? You're sitting in a room, you're inside, it's a big bay window or big open window, big glass window, and I ask you, don't overthink it, hey, is the wind blowing? What will you do?
Look at the tree.
You have a PhD, don't you?
Huh?
Oh, no, I'm just joking with you. You look out the window and you see, you're right, don't worry, and you see that the leaves are moving. So you don't see the wind. I mean, unless it's acid rain, and okay, fine. But generally speaking, wind is clear, at least most of the time. So when you look out the window, you see the leaves moving. You see the symptom. You don't see the actual wind, you see the symptom of the wind. Consciousness, that self that I am. What I am, that's another thing, but that sense of self is a symptom is a symptom of the self. Consciousness is a symptom of the soul. Each of us is an individual eternal soul. And we're riding around in different bodies, and because of our past and present experiences, we're conditioned, so we have a certain sense of self. But if we actually understand, I don't die, I'm the eternal soul, and I don't die. And I don't get old, and I'm not black and white or male or female or this or that. I'm none of this baggage that I'm carrying around with me and so worried about. I mean, rest themselves. You see some of the homeless people, it just breaks your heart. And they're pushing around that big cart full of stuff. And sometimes you look at that stuff, I mean, I saw a guy the other day, I was talking with him a bit, and he had a deflated basketball in a shopping cart. And all this other, but each of those items meant something to him. I'm not saying the rationale or his value, transposed on those things was legitimate or, but to him it all meant something. And to us, what is this junk pushing around? The great sages and sages look at us, and we're pushing around a little shopping cart of all of our needs, fears, greeds, anxieties, attachments. Well, hey, I live in San Diego, but I'm in La Jolla, or whatever we're pushing around. Or I'm not in La Jolla. If only, I'm stuck in, I don't want to offend anyone, Claremont. I mean, I don't want to pick on anybody, but sorry about that. There's very nice sections of Claremont and wonderful people who live there. Don't get me wrong. Save this. Don't push that send button yet on your email. So, but the point I'm trying to make is if we understand who we actually are, then our whole perception of this world changes. I'll give you another. I've got 4 of them, but I don't think we have time for all 4. Well, let's just jump to the heart of the thing. My spiritual master, my guru, gave a very nice example. Suppose you're on a business trip and you go to New York City. Company paid your way, you're in a nice hotel. Ritz-Carlton, I don't know, what's a big hotel in New York? I've never stayed there. Huh? Plaza, okay, thank you. Or Trump Tower, whatever it is. Okay, let's go with the Plaza. Is it Trump? Anyway, I don't want to. So we stay there. And, but the curtains don't really match the couch. So we got to fix that. So we got to get a new couch, and they match the curtains. But now it doesn't really go with a rug. So, okay, we get a rug. But, when you look at it, then that painting on the wall doesn't really bring out the theme, So you spend your whole time decorating your apartment, and you forget all about the meeting you're supposed to go to. And then you look at whoa, wait a minute, and it's time to fly home. Then what was the use of, you don't get to stay in the apartment. You got to go. And you didn't really do your real business. So we're spending our whole time, feathering our nest and fluffing where we are. But we can't stay here. Time and tide wait for no one. I met a guy the other day. He was anyway, it's a long story. And he said, he was talking to his friend. His friend said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm just killing time." Now, what's wrong with that statement? And I said to him, I'm a monk. You dress like this, and being a monk, you can get away with a lot. So I said, "Sir, may I interject one thought?" And he said, "Yeah, man, what is it?" I said, "Well, actually, you're not killing time." I said, "Time is killing you. Time is just fine. It's not nicked and scraped a pinch. You're the one that's under the knife here, my friend." And he said, "Damn, you got a point there." So, what is our real business? Should we spend our time worrying about what we can't take with us? A lot of things we can't even change. We worry about things that we have absolutely no control over, if we're actually honest with ourselves. Anyway, I don't want to spend it too much time. But the point is that we only have control. Do we have control over circumstances? Anyone want to argue that case? No, we got a no vote here. We got a strong no vote. Whether it's too hot or it's too cold, or we get hit by a meteor, or I'll say it. There was a guy out I swear to you, this was about 5 years ago. He was out for a stroll in El Cajon. I'm not picking on El Cajon. It just happened to be El Cajon. The guy woke up. He's on his way to Starbucks to get a coffee. And out of nowhere, he got struck. It was in the San Diego Union. He got struck by a lime green bowling ball flying out of the sky, hit him in the chest, and almost killed him. Now, did you think? Hey, here's another one that's really off the track. About 10 or 12 people a year on the globe. The average people killed by a shark is 10 or 12. Over 750 people per year are hit by falling coconuts. Did you ever think about that? You go down to the tropics, you finally got that week off, and you don't have your football helmet on, and bam, off you go, hit by a coconut, So, we can't control. The guy with a lime green bowling ball, just so you can sleep easily tonight, I'll tell you after the talk how he was killed by the lime green bowling ball. But we don't know what's happening in life. All we can do, we cannot control conditions. All we can control is how we react to conditions. And if we see through this spiritual vision, spiritual knowledge, then we know how to deal with conditions. Wait a minute, I am not this body. I'm the eternal soul. And therefore, out of the four, here's two. We'll do the other two some other time. What is my real purpose in life? What if, when I go to school, let's suppose I go to college, and I think, hey, I'll take advanced basket weaving, I'll take food tasting, I'll take a culinary course. Hey, here's a famous fallback. I'll take, film, whatever it is, analysis of American film. I'll make popcorn in the cooking class. I'll go to the movie course, and I don't know, what was the other thing I was going to take? Basket weaving. Hey, I can knit or basket weave while I'm watching the film. No pressure. Parents send money, tuition for student loan, whatever, But is that really the purpose? What is the purpose of college? If I go to the hospital, pretty nurses, free cable, room with a view. What's not to love, I got wireless, free. And they come in, oh, Mr. Swami, it's time for your spinal tap and then your operation. What? Hey, where's that on the menu? So that's not the purpose. Isn't it Munchausen's? There's a disease that people deliberately inflict pain. Is it Munchausen's? What's it called? Huh? Hey, way to go. Thanks. I'll never remember. I hope you're here next time. But the point is that they actually like to be in the hospital, isn't it? They inflict pain sometimes to be in the hospital.
On their children.
Oh, is it on children? Oh, that's even, no, but I think people do it to themselves too. Children is even worse. Anyway, the point is that the business is not to stay in the hospital, isn't it? What's the business of to be in a hospital? Let's hear it now. To be cured and get out. I mean, you can wheel yourself out. You want to get cured and get out, right? So what if if we're not this body with the eternal soul, and we can't take anything with us, and we can't really control anything, then what the hell are we doing here? And what if this world has a higher purpose? The word education is a Latin word, and I've forgotten the two components, but it means to draw forth, to bring out, as from darkness into light. I'll say that again. Education is not, to stack up a bunch of figures in your mind and how many equations can you quote. Education means to draw out, to bring forth as from darkness into light. What if the purpose of this world, of this life, was to realize my actual eternal self? And that's the purpose of this world. And it's just as the purpose of a hospital is not to stay in there, and the purpose of a school is not to stay in there. You talk to seniors in high school or in college. They say it all the time. I want to graduate and get out into the real world. I want to get out into the real world. What if there is, as all the great saints and sages say, since time immemorial, this is not our real home. You got a nighttime dream. Well, this is a daytime dream. And when you wake up, there is a spiritual dimension, dare I say it, a kingdom of God, full of liberated saintly people. That's my real home. Why does the shadow, we'll end here, why does the shadow, I'll give you a big hint, why does the shadow of the hand have 5 fingers? Don't overthink it, my friends. Why does the shadow of the hand, I want to see if they get it. I hope you've got it. Why does the shadow of the hand have 5 fingers? Because the original, way to go, because the original object has 5 fingers. This world is a shadow reflection of the spiritual dimension, the kingdom of God. And just as we have form and activities and relationships, all ephemeral, all dreamlike, That is the shadow reflection of our actual home, the spiritual world. That's where we belong. And the whole purpose of this life is to realize that. And why are we here? Because we're the rejects full of lust, greed, anger, envy, so many things. We're all trying to be the Lord of all we survey. Balboa, I think he's a Spanish explorer, yeah? Portuguese or Spanish. Sailed across the Atlantic. Crossed the isthmus there, whatever it was, Nicaragua or whatever, walked. There was no Panama Canal at the time. Touched the Spanish flag to the Pacific Ocean and says, I now claim all the lands touched by this ocean in the name of Queen Isabel. By touching the Spanish flag to the ocean, claimed everything touched by the water. Did the Chinese automatically say, hey, se hablo español? I mean, I think it's a completely ridiculous claim. But we're claiming, this is my house, this is my country, this is my this is my that. Poof, gone before you know it. So the simple point is that if we change our perception that I'm not this body, but I'm the eternal, I'm not this body, I'm not this feverish mind, I'm the soul within. And my real business here is to not stack up stuff which I can't control and it's going to be gone in no time, but get about my business of learning about the self, learning about the soul, restoring my relationship with the Supreme Lord, and getting the hell out of this place and going to that spiritual dimension where all the liberated souls already are. And they're saying, come on, come on. And the means to do that, the first and foremost step is the chanting of the holy name of the Hare Krishna mantra. Any name of God will work. If I touch fire, it will burn. The Hare Krishna mantra is especially potent in this age. So that's what we're about. That's why we chant this Hare Krishna mantra, because it cleanses the heart, cleanses the mind, and we can start to see, whoa, this is what it's all about. So we are probably over time. I can't see the clock. Yeah, we can start. What time is it, Balaram?
8:35.
Oh, yeah, then we should definitely wind it up. Okay, so what happens? And thank you for sitting so patiently. Hey, what happened with the kids? They quieted down or they got the boot? Hey, way to go. Did you drug them? No. I'm joking. Oh, Govinda. Okay, so... No, we don't have forever. But what we can do... And Balaram's moving in for something. Oh, thanks, Balaram. But what we could do, he'll make some important announcements, but while we're distributing the prasad, well, bring it out. Get it rolling, my friends, because they're hungry. And when's this guy going to stop? So we could take a few questions if they're there while we're distributing the prasadam. Okay, Balaram, it's yours. Thank you.
I don't have much to say, but yeah, the dinner's coming out, so it should be here very soon, and then we'll start passing it out. And yeah, we have this every week, so feel free to come back again. And aside from that, if you want to take questions, or we could just move on.
No, I want to do both. Why do we have to do A
Well,
and B?
it's coming, so you could take
Oh,
questions.
so you want me to
It's on its way.
keep the choir coming till the prasad gets
It's on
out
the
here?
way.
All right, I'll shuffle around. Yeah, but I just don't want them to have to wait. So the wheels are turning.
Yeah, the wheels are
And when they
turning.
come out, they can just start passing them out.
Yes.
And when you get it in your hand, just pop open that lid and fire away, okay? All right, thanks. So does anybody have any question? I'll tell you how this works. Oh, you want to know about the bowling ball? I forgot. Okay, it's a true story. I couldn't make this stuff up. I don't have to make this stuff up. This world is a circus at every moment. You just open your eyes and it's free cable, just.
My grandfather bought this land ball, and he remembered it.
There it is, an independent confirmation. Can we get that in writing, Balaram? So, no, evidently I think it's Brownfield. There's a small airplane, small plane airport in that, out, whatever it is, in that direction. And a guy was going, single engine plane, and he was flying to a bowling competition in Las Vegas. And as soon as he got off the ground, something, went wrong in the plane. And as he started to, he was throwing everything out of the plane for just try to level the thing. And he threw out his suitcase, he threw out this, and he threw out his bag with his bowling ball, which happened to be lime green. And the thing under the pressure, the bag was half open or whatever. And, it's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a bowling ball. Wham! Hit the guy right in the chest. Right up, flew out of the sky. Anybody here got insurance for a bowling ball? I don't think so, I mean, people die falling out of the bathtub. Google it. Google it. Strange ways to die. It'll just blow your mind. I forget what the number is, but maybe it's over 1,000 people die in the United States alone making toast. I mean, I guess they're in there with a fork, We talk about seeing the light. Well, that's one way to see it, Oh, geez. So it is a rough world. So does that answer your question about the bowling ball? Have I instilled in you an eternal paranoia? You're always going to be looking up from now on, When your number's up, your number's up. It's just as simple as that, Okay, anything else other than that? Pass them out. Get the ball rolling, if you don't mind. Thanks. Any other question? Oh, thank you very much.
Me and my friend here, we're having trouble being in college as spiritual beings. We feel as
It's a nice question.
yeah, it's like hard. I'm studying marketing, and I'm like, what am I doing? And I'm like, why am I here?
Like living in the shadow, but then also being connected.
Well, I'm not going to tell you to drop out. Don't worry. Her question is a very good question. Her question was, hey, I'm in college. I'm studying marketing. It can be a grind. It doesn't really, how do I balance that? I'm in the shadow world and I know I'm up here, so what's up? Arjuna, our cornerstone of the Vedic teachings is called Bhagavad-Gita. It's a book called Bhagavad-Gita. And the Bhagavad-Gita is Krishna, the perfect master, is speaking to Arjuna, who takes our role as every person. And it's a dialogue, and Arjuna is asking questions like that. I mean, he's on a battlefield, he has to fight, he's got his relatives on the other side. If he doesn't fight, there's a whole string of reasons why he should not fight. There's a whole string of reasons why should he go off to the Himalayas and live in a cave on 3 chickpeas a day? What does he do? So it's the art of work. There's a chapter called Karma Yoga, and it's the art of work. I mean, society needs doctors. It needs, I was going to say lawyers, but I'll have to think about that one. But, actually you do need that. Previously there were Brahmins, there were sages, and they would adjudicate. They would hear both sides, and they were completely selfless, and they'd make a decision. So that kind of arbitrators of, that you need. So, we need carpenters, we need all kinds of things, but it's our professions. But it's a question, my guru gives the example, like society, if you look at a society as a body, you need a head, you need arms, you need legs, you need a stomach, you need all that stuff. There's a joke that one time and I'm just trying to fill ground till everybody's got something to eat. There was the senses. The hand, the leg, the eyes, the tongue, the nose, all of that, and then there's the stomach. And they were thinking about it, and they said, we all work hard, and then we give everything to the stomach, and the stomach is just sitting there. Hey, where's the, we're going on strike. So all the senses, I'm going to get to your question, don't we? All the senses went on strike. And what happened after a week, 10 days of all the senses not feeding the stomach and going, the hand was trying to chew it himself, the mouth would, taste it but wouldn't swallow. How did that work out? What do you think? If you don't feed the stomach, what happens?
You get empty.
The whole body, So they called an emergency meeting of the strike committee, and they all determined, we got to feed the stomach. So everything has its purpose to make society function. So getting an education so that you can do a useful service in society, there's nothing wrong with that. But what is the purpose of society? Everything is meant to serve, what is it? Samsiddhi Haritoshanam. It's a Vedic Sanskrit, sutra. And it's the measure of things. How does what I do please the Supreme Lord? If I get a red Ferrari, or I get, I'm on the head of by marketing and I wind up being the head of the Fortune 500 committee, company. How does that really please the Supreme Lord? So to get a good education so you can serve society and serve the Supreme Lord, there's no harm in that. But, so it all depends on purpose. What is your purpose? What is your intent? And there's ways to, and it's true. Why do you wear a mask or, whatever. But in principle, as protection against disease. So if you're in a diseased environment, then you've got to learn how to protect yourself. And let us say for a moment, if you're out there in the university, you're a young girl, guys are trying to hit on you, and and also you get affected by anger. If you're not successful, you don't get a good degree, and there's all kinds of emotions, So you're in an environment that's infected. You've got to learn how to protect yourself. And there are spiritual, just like we rise early in the morning, and we read books of wisdom. And we chant this holy name. We do meditation on the holy name, and that helps us. It's protect. Before you cruise out into the world and get knocked from pillar to post, shouldn't we, get rejuvenated and get strong spiritually? So there's all kinds of things you can do to protect yourself. But it's not that the purpose is wrong. It's the how to utilize that purpose, for how to do it in a spiritual way that protects you and in a way that actually pleases the Supreme Lord. Does that help?
Yes.
All righty. And get a copy of Bhagavad-Gita.
I did.
And it comes with tech support. By that I mean you got to ask the devotees. You got a question, you got something going on. Okay, so I think everybody's pretty much got prasadam, and you can chit-chat with yourselves. And if you have any other questions, we got over the line. All right. If you have any questions, you can ask me later on. But then, nice question. Thank you. Hare Krishna.